Father Joe Tonos from St. Richard Catholic Church and St. Richard Catholic School is joining us now. Father Joe, it's great to meet you. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been a long time since my last confession.
I didn't got that kind of time, man, but see me after the show. We're going to be all right.
Sunday is the day, 10 days after his election by the College of Cardinals. Pope Leo XIV will be inaugurated. I'm not sure the proper term, and I spent 15 years in Catholic school and Jesuit education in college, so I'm not sure what the proper term is.
Yeah.
But he'll become the 267th leader of the Catholic Church on Sunday officially.
Right. Yeah, and we do use the word installation. He's already ordained as a bishop.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, as soon as the College of Cardinals elected him, he became Pope. I mean,
that's it.
There's no waiting period.
That's it. Yeah.
So, tell us about what we can expect to see Sunday. This is going to be, I don't know if it'll be as downplayed perhaps as Francis was, but there's always so much pomp and circumstance and ceremony that's involved with this.
Of course, you'll see all the finery. You'll see the full extent of that royal ceremony for a papal inauguration or installation. But I don't think he's going to follow that real Jesuitical simplicity that Francis exhibited. I think he's kind of falling more in line with his predecessors, Benedict XVI, and on back with some of the more traditional ways of just kind of accepting the office of Pope with all of the the finery,
all the bells and whistles,
all the bells, whistles, incense, smells and bells, all that. Yes, sir.
What's the difference between Leo and Francis? I mean, one was a Jesuit, Leo's an Augustine. I mean, there's some big differences in their philosophies.
I really haven't been able to parse that, but of course, I think. So real quickly, I think that Pope Francis kind of offered us sort of a nice rupture from this real kind of officious, almost distant sense of the papacy, which for the folks that just kind of keep up with our church on the media, they wouldn't really have kept up much with Benedict XVI. But Francis had a good media machine, but the other thing that Francis did was have a lot of things to say, in particular on social media. And he also was very accessible. And so I think some of that will probably be just kind of limited to Francis's papacy, the washing of the feet of prisoners, the off-the-cuff, sometimes problematic comments he'd make on airplanes. But I think what we'll see with Leo is a little bit more gravity. I think he kind of has a little bit more sense of what he says and how that's going to be translated. But the cool thing is that he speaks English. So where Francis would say something on a plane and then we'd have people scramble to what we call Pope-splain, like, oh, no, he didn't mean that in Italian. It's nuanced. No, in Italian, that really means this. When you speak plain English, it's plain English. So I think Leo's going to kind of give us a real
But will he use English? I mean, I think he deliberately avoided anything in English when he came out on the balcony last week because he doesn't want to be perceived as an American Pope. And I think that's one of the things that the American media is trying to, hey, we've got an American Pope. No, he's the Pope for the entire world, for every country. And that's, I think, was a deliberate effort on his part when he spoke to us for the first time, not to use English, to speak in Spanish for his home parish, in Italian, obviously, in Latin. But he doesn't want to be an American president, as historic as it is.
Well, I think he'll probably speak English when it warrants it.
When it suits him.
Yeah, and I also think that he's going to speak English when it comes to an international approach. I don't think he's going to reserve that just, for his brothers. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
Yeah. Why didn't you pick up the phone?
This is the problem. I mean, this is what you don't want to. This is one of the when you elected a pope from America, it comes with all the White Sox baggage. But I also saw a TikTok video of a girl he hooked up with in college on TikTok, which we don't need that.
We do not
sure,
need that.
It may have happened. I don't know how much you can believe a lot of social media, but that's not information we needed to have.
Well, I know, I'm from Greenville, Mississippi, and
Right.
after I was ordained, you wouldn't believe the women who dated me and the guys who just hung out with me and had a beer with me. And I didn't know I had that many friends or such a romantic life. So I wouldn't believe what you see. But I do think one thing is that you talk about an American Pope. He is from the United States. And one of the things I think that we will see is that in the United States, we have an incredibly huge Catholic population. And believe it or not, our Catholic population in the United States are really a law-driven. You know, as a growing-up Catholic, you would know that people said, well, this is what the church teaches, this is what you must do, and we take that seriously. I don't think, Central America and Italy do that as much because of their history. So I think, and I'm hoping that Leo will look at what we have, and when it comes to marriage cases, to recognize that we in Jackson, Mississippi, you're going to
Divorce is a fact of life.
It is, and in Jackson, Mississippi, someone who grows up in the International Church of Jesus Christ, the Precious Blood, all of a sudden discovers the Catholic Church at age 30 and marries that those laws still apply to that person. And it makes it very difficult for that marriage to happen. So I think Leo's probably going to address that because he understands the United States probably more so than any pope before.
Well, and church attendance has been declining. I think it's on the increase in many parts of the country now, but it has kind of been on the decline in the U.S. This may rejuvenate the faith in the U.S.
Yeah. Well, I think he's captured the imagination already of some of the young Catholics, kind of what we saw in the previous election in the United States, that young men matter. And I think, people think it's funny, but young men gravitate toward more of a traditional style of liturgy. They don't like, to share their feelings and hold hands and,
Really?
Do you not like that? I mean, I don't like that. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Odd, right? And so they sort of like to know, where the rules are, what the lines are, what the goals are, and I think that Leo has given a kind of a hoorah to a lot of young men, which I'm all for.
One thing, I don't know if this is a venial sin, but I did bet on who the next pope would be. You could do that on several betting markets. Got it wrong. I don't think I saw anybody predicting that the pope would come from America. However, I did call out, I think filling in with the bishop, with Bishop Kopaz a couple of weeks ago, that the next pope would take the name Leo, because I saw the socioeconomic ties of Leo XIII as a continuation of some of Francis's beliefs, but also the reforming elements that the Vatican really needs.
You predicted that?
I did call that.
That's pretty great. Yeah. So Leo XIII, as you probably know, he was one of those popes that appeared at a new time. It's kind of like a revolution of history, and one of his documents that he's most known for is Rerum Novarum. To address the industrial age. It's not, a lot of people think he's, Karl Marx or something about workers unite, but really it's about human dignity in the midst of an industrial revolution. How can we retain our human dignity, our respect for, human labor, the human family, the work that we do in the midst of machinery and kind of more of a corporate encroachment. And I think it's been said that Leo XIV will address AI, which is crazy stuff.
Yeah. Will you use artificial intelligence to write your homilies?
Is this? I use my own intelligence. And that's kind of sometimes artificial. But no. I tell you what. I'll be honest with you. I do run it through GPT. And if it looks too rote,
that's fascinating. Really?
Yeah. But I run it through ChatGPT just to see what anybody could get out of it, and if that's what the internets get out of it, I revise it. I try to add something personal that no one would, talk about, like something I saw this week, or I was, at the Kroger or whatever. So that doesn't come up on ChatGPT, but I find it to be something to challenge me to go deeper.
It's a helpful tool. Father Joe from St. Richard, can you stick around for another segment?
Yes, sir. Happy to do so.
Quickly, how did the kids at St. Richard react to the news of the new pope?
They had a fake smokestack with white smoke coming up. They were pretty thrilled. No one chose Leo, as far as I know.
I love that. Father Joe here on Super Talk Mississippi. I'm Scott Sands, in for Richard Cross. C Spire text line is open for you as well at 601-879-4395. Back in a second. Streaming audio and video everywhere on supertalk.fm. It's Mornings with Richard Cross. I'm Scott Sands. On X at Scott Sands Media. Father Joe Tonos, the pastor at St. Richard in Jackson, is joining us as we talk about the installation of Pope Leo XIV on Sunday. From a purely bureaucratic side, I don't know how familiar you are with the workings of the Vatican, but will he make major sweeping changes to the administration of the Vatican? I think all of the leaders and the policies essentially roll over, and most of the leadership can stick around if he wants them to.
Yeah. That remains to be seen. I heard yesterday that, one little small detail, he's returning the signature title of Monsignor, which Francis had vacated. So that's kind of, something he's already indicated, which is an honorary title, which shows, again, he's leaning back into that tradition that people will associate with Catholicism. I think it's going to give folks a sense of comfort. As far as his own, advisors and the offices, I do think there needs to be reform. I just don't know which way he's going to go, but I don't think it's going to go to the extremes that people thought Francis was going to go. Francis would go only so far, but thank God not off the cliff.
We have a terrific Monsignor at the parish where I live who gets me back to church because he hosts cigar and bourbon nights at the rectory.
As one does, yes.
It does happen from time to time. Yes. Father Joe, you don't have to do this if you're not comfortable, but when the bishop was on, we played a game called Heavy Metal Lyric or Bible Verse. Would you like to give it a shot?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I want to challenge the bishop on this. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, he did request "Hey Joe" for his walkout song, so yeah,
of course
this guy's got some skills.
There we go. We'll try.
So I'm going to give you a line, and this is a line from either a heavy metal song or it's a verse from the Bible, and you'll have to tell me which one it is. You don't have to name the band if it's a heavy metal lyric, just heavy metal lyric or Bible verse with Father Joe.
Right.
Here's the line. Their stain shall also be cast out, and their stench shall rise up of their corpses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
Oh, that's totally Haley Stansfield. No, just kidding. That's a Bible.
It is. It's Isaiah 43.
Yes.
How about this one? The sky is turning red. Return to power draws near. Fall into me the sky's crimson tears. Abolish the rules made of stone.
That would be metal.
Yeah, it's Slayer from a song called Raining Blood. Are you a big Slayer fan?
Not at all, but thanks for playing.
In those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
Bible.
Revelation 9. Pretty good at this. We can do one more here.
One more.
I can feel it burn inside of me. Tormented young with no souls haunting me. Pain in their lives, all they know is misery. Take these claims away that are holding me down.
That would be metal.
Avenged Sevenfold is the band that did that one.
Man, yeah, okay.
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at this.
I read the Bible sometimes. Contrary to popular belief, we Catholics read the Bible. We wrote the Bible. We've got the director's cut in our Bible. So.
Did the Catholics really write the Bible?
Did we really write it? Well, we imprimatured it. We kind of stamped it. We've got the director's cut in ours. We've got the extra footage. The Snyder cut. We've got the Snyder cut of the Bible.
With the installation of Pope Leo on Sunday, where do you think the church needs to focus moving forward to grow and to re-engage many of us like myself who are lapsed Catholics?
Well, I think that is an encounter with Jesus Christ, to be honest with you. I think that it's the voice that's crying out in the desert has been silenced by so many things, because there's so much good out there that some people just say, I'm good enough. I mean, I'm not killing anyone, live my own life, look out for the things I need to look out for. But the gospel calls us to be saints. There's a difference between being a good person and a saint. So when people says, I'm not a saint, my question is, but why not? So I think, like every pope has tried to call us to sanctity, to be saints. And sometimes just our sentimental attitude sometimes drops it to, I'm just going to love you as you are, and you just keep on doing what you do. And I think people will appreciate, just kind of kicking in the game a little bit, moving toward sanctity, moving toward holiness, moving toward their own reception into heaven, hopefully.
Well, I think we've all become so self-absorbed sometimes that becomes a challenge.
Yes, sir.
Father Joe, so nice to meet you, and thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate the conversation.
Okay, we'll have confession right after the show, man. Looking forward to it.
Perfect. I have overshared so much that I could probably do the confession on the air live and be fine with it.
Bring it. 10 Hail Marys.
It's going to be more than that, Father. It's going to be several full rosaries.
I'm easy. I'm easy on you, brother.
How can people find your Mass times?
Just go to saintrichard.com and Mass times. You can email me. You can send me memes, pictures of the Pope's ex-girlfriends, whatever you want to do. I'm good with it.
State Rep Price Wallace will join us next hour. Super Talk Mississippi News and Fox News here at the top of the hour on Super Talk Mississippi.